Welcome back, fellow armchair generals. This is Gamer 1745 here with my continuing playthrough of Hearts of Iron 4 with the Man the Guns DLC. Boy, I gotta say that right. If I'm gonna do a career of speaking, I should learn how to speak correctly, I guess. But well, whatever. Maybe it's fun to not have me speak well. Of course, I am very much looking, since this new DLC focuses on the Navy, been dealing with a lot of naval warfare elements, including going after various submarine, anti-submarine, mine warfare. But we're now looking at naval invasions, and so we're doing this. We're still very much trying to hold for shore. We want to hold Singapore and the Malaya Peninsula because goddamn air bases are not in Singapore and things like that. Okay, we sent 2 divisions. Oh, we need to attach them to attack there. Let's. Did they make it? They made it. Okay, they get to come up here. I'm gonna leave one division back on Rangoon just to make sure I'm holding the rear for supplies slash withdrawal if that becomes necessary. We're holding some ports up here. Well, you know what we could do is, where's an airbase? Did they have already taken the damn airbase? Oh, no. Not yet. We got lots of fighters. Wow, we got more fighters than I thought we had. Good, we've been producing a lot. Where are, oh, there. And you can ground support there. Well, I don't know, probably upgrade to something else, but we'll start with hurricanes and then we'll go after enemy air. Here. Let's no, that's too much. 50. And let's give them, well, hurricanes. Yeah, this is too much. I don't know for sure too much, but so we'll send some hurricanes and rockers to Australia because it looks like they may use them effectively, hopefully. And oh well, we need to be over on this. Dutch East Indies, modify Lend Lease. Let's also here. And where are our no, why am I, oh, here. Okay, so we're getting what? Oh, deploy units. Oh, what do we need to? Oh, tank brigade needs a location. Well, I guess we can send you straight to Cardiff. No, wrong map. No location set. There we go. Deploy. There we go. Recruit more. It would go for Palermo. Yeah, what I'm thinking of doing is, which of course I don't know if will work, but and I need to move these guys over here, is once we hit the invasion, I'm thinking of sending all of these guys straight into Anzio. So hit it with 6, and then send in the rest of these mechanized and infantry divisions straight into Anzio to take out Rome. I'm just being bold, and I'm gonna do that. And so all that this for me needs to do is to come down here and stall out again, because I agree with you, JP. I'm not trusting the AI either. And so if it wants to come in and stall out in Sicily, I'm okay with that, because what I think we're going to see is another bunch of units show up around. That's sort of why I'm going to wait until I see the Allied invasion. Who's this battle plan? Is that part of these guys' battle plan? I don't know. Some French thing. These Norwegian troops coming in here? Okay. They see a chance to get involved in the fight, so they're going in for the Norwegian cavalry divisions. You're going to be stuck in the mountain warfare. Yeah, I understand, and I very well may, if I can, blossom out, but I definitely want to grab Rome as fast as possible there. Okay, you guys did a good job. Took out that unit. That went fairly quick. Now, we have lots and lots of fighters, and we're going to move in, yeah, Mark 1. Yeah, we should just hit the 100. And we're going to move in another 100. And we're going to, let's move 100 Wellingtons in. Yeah, we'll do 100 naval bombers. And where are we? Here we are, and we'll do 100. And 100. I think it was Jeff who was asking me, or somebody asking me to keep my air units of a uniform size. I said no, but this is going to be sort of a uniform size. Actually, no, let's go after southern France with those. And I'm going to send in another 100. These and another 100. These, we're really doing air war now. Okay, you're going to deploy. You're going to come up to south of France. Maybe I should move you up there once you get there. That probably would be a smart thing to do. And you're going to also come after Italy. And you're going to come after here. Shipping. And again, we may move you further north. And you're going to come there once you get there. Ah, hello, Carl Lindoff. How you doing? There's a green slider on the right showing the progress of the planning and invasion, so you can also hold the pointer there to see that. Ah, okay. That is not something I'm used to seeing. Here, yeah, okay. 16. Right. Okay, cool. 16 of 42 days. But we're definitely not launching this invasion until we get the American invasion. Get some mountain divisions or maybe some Gurkhas. Yeah, I don't know that the Italians are going to fight that well. They've gone up to 10. I noticed the Norwegian divisions have either left or been defeated. Looks like they've left. They're going somewhere else. Oh, interesting. Maybe they realize that this is not a... Ooh, they're all the way down to 6 divisions. Uh-oh. Are they withdrawing? Well, now they're up to 9, 10. Sending in more. Have we got some more divisions here? I hope they... Okay, here's some American divisions showing up for this. Armored and 2 infantry. Okay, this pocket looks like... I think they're retreating. I think they are. I am not sure, though. No, they're sending in more and they're invading. No, I think they were defeating those divisions. Okay. Got some Free French here. Don't know why this is turned over to me instead of staying Free French, but... Okay, this is interesting, but we're definitely waiting for that to happen before we do anything. And we're going to be lightning thrust, both with our regional landing force as well as follow-on forces. Go into Rome and, like you say, down to Naples as well. Oh, how are we doing down here? Can't forget this. Okay, so we've helped with that. We're going to counterattack there. Got some Americans fighting in here good too. That's nice. Glad to see the Americans are being aggressive and coming into the other fronts. Okay. Now we got that. Very good. I think we will add... Well, I think the Typhoon will be more useful first. Now we're going to not quite do what we did for the long range ground, but we will increase the range of attack and that. One more for the attack. Okay. So now we have a much better version of our carrier bombers, and we're going to switch production over to that. Mark 1. Rock Mark 1. Hey, Ari. Good to see you. No problem. Show up whenever you can. We like having you here. But things happen. Gotta do stuff. Maybe even just more fun things than watching me play. And I didn't have an epic meltdown like I did yesterday. I don't know who here saw my epic meltdown yesterday, but that was an epic one. Don't worry, I'll post the video on YouTube. And I can. And we also have these guys here. Let's move you to here. Yeah, the trains. Okay, maintenance companies have approved. Or we're... Oh, we just initial... Okay. And that's what... Oh, I need to attach... Do some of that. Okay. We are in 42, so that means we could do this or this. Guard attack. Now, I think we're going to do that first. Okay, and let's look at our orders of battle for our standard good infantry division. That's sort of full up. I'm looking at the support elements. Let's look at the tank brigade first. We can now add in maintenance, which really reduces the amount of equipment erosion for motorized units, so I think we will do that. We don't have lots of experience, so we'll do that. And for our motorized division, similarly, we're going to do that. Now, I think what we're going to do here is, okay, defense plus 9, breakthrough plus 4.5 or 4.9. Okay, so what I think we're going to do is remove our support artillery. We're going to change it for logistics, which will reduce supply usage so we can stack more units and things like that and whatnot. So we're going to convert that over to that there, and we don't have a lot of extra. Okay, I think that will be useful. Yeah, okay, we already have anti-tank in there, so yeah. Let's see if we add in another artillery. Yeah, we can afford that. Do we have the artillery? Yes. So we'll do that. Replace the support artillery into a that. Well, the big problem for that is a good divisional template. I only have, after doing that, 6 army experience, so I can't really make a mech infantry or mech marines right now, JP. I wish I could. I would, but I also don't really have much in the way of production of mech, and you need that mech transport. So that's part of the reason I haven't been building it, is because I haven't been planning that. So we're just moving up to support what we can. But they definitely had it. I think we should get a few more templates given by national focuses, and there may be some in here. No, this doesn't look like it gives a template, or this. I probably would have taken them had they given a template early enough. Okay, now we're going to move. Oh no, I wanted to move to here, and we're going to do the anti-tank thing next. And you see they're even calling it the boys anti-tank rifle, which of course was a pre-war thing. It was actually a fairly good anti-tank rifle. Heavy as all hell, but still wish I had the money to have gotten the one when I was offered one for sale. Rechambered down to the legal 50 caliber, US 50 caliber instead of the 55 caliber. But still, that would have been a fun thing to have. Not just a 50 caliber rifle, but a 50 caliber boys anti-tank rifle. That would have been really fun to have. Start building them. Yeah, that's a good idea. Now, part of also what I've been sort of planning is dealing with Japan here. Well, at least I think we're holding there, and I think that may be the best option. Okay. Look at our current now that we have. Okay, so we're winning the air war over these areas, which is good. We could add in, yeah, we barely have enough slots available. Let's a little more over the Western Mediterranean air power. Yeah, no, I don't disagree about the idea of developing that. But to a point, it's first things first. First, I want to get the units that I have, because this would mean building more stuff. So I don't know that I'm going to try right away for this Sterling Mark 1. The Brengen carrier probably would be before that. But since these just upgrade already existing units, I wanted to do them first since we have a lot of that. Oh, you're attacking. All attack. Oh, well. Damn, that was badly coordinated. Well, okay, you're coming in. Now maybe... I don't know. Come on, Dutch. Join our attack. Maybe we could win. If we were to join. No. Didn't win, but oh well. Uh-oh. We have the Dutch being invaded here. Ooh, oh, okay. Let's patrol. Let's patrol out here with the submarines. Lamb joins the Greater East Asian Co-Prosperity Sphere. Okay, so they've joined. Let's push in to here. Oh, they haven't joined the war yet, I guess. Is this still Free French territory? Oh wow, I guess we could be sending troops in there. That's interesting. Well, we'll wait. We'll wait a moment here. Are you in the war yet? Nope. 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 But we're getting everybody's battle plans that are mucking everything up. Are you in the war yet? Nope. Okay, anti-submarine warfare. Are you in the war yet? Nope. Okay, go on forever for that. Well, until they join the war. Britannia rules the waves. Research naval doctrines. Those would be good bonus. Escort focus. Full. Japan Peninsula War. Over Japan we already have. Develop Canada, which is a good idea. Lots of good ideas, but Mineland, we thought about that a lot. Light cruiser. Let's do naval doctrine improvement. And now that we've built more shipyards, which will help our sort of third line of destroyers. Well, let's throw another radar up there. Oh, we could throw a radar. Well, we got that radar. Well, let's throw radar up here. Oh, no, I want to click Corsica. Go to at least that level there. Look deeper into Germany. And we still can't increase our radar there. Now thinking about trying to increase the radar up here and holding there, but we'll first deal with Siam, I think. We have radar out here still. Never did get troops out there. I need to. Do we have any troops down here? No. Would be a good staging point. Now, most of you that are around here were here when I made the special episode about how good the AI is being. But it still doesn't have the idea of strategic reserve, of like having some divisions in Australia. You don't need to like put them all along the complete border, you know, or coastline of Australia. But the idea of having, well, you know, in Canberra and Sydney and like Adelaide or something like that, or maybe down in Melbourne, just to sort of have a few, and maybe one up here, just to sort of like have a few divisions holding in the rear would be a good thing. What is being as how you have surplus infantry equipment, send some to yeah, Dutch East Indies. I am sending some already out there. Yeah. Easily reinforce the Soviet front from Norway, couldn't you? Well, no, I don't think I can, because they're not in my faction. airy. I can't really do that. Really cared about taking Ozzy. Oh, you're absolutely right. I did see a Mark Felton production, another very good YouTube historian, makes short videos on the subject, that there were no Japanese plans to invade Australia. And they talk about the one very small invasion that I think happened over here, or maybe a bit more over here. Not so much at Darwin. I think it was maybe one of these things. That they sent in a commando team on, looking at like a disguised merchant fishing vessel kind of thing. That was maybe spotted by a submarine, but it did have a Japanese air escort that chased the sub away. That they landed, ran around here, tried to see if the U.S. in one of these bays, the U.S. was building a base. Saw no evidence other than some campfires and things, but no construction, and then left. So it was just a commando raid from Timor to, a reconnaissance commando raid type thing from an elite Japanese unit coming from, I think here. It was where it was stationed, one of these islands, and then they came down to Timor and launched an attack. That was the only time Japanese soldiers made it to Australian mainland. Of course, there was, I think it was Sydney, or maybe Melbourne, but I think it was Sydney, the midget submarine attack obviously happened, and they bombed Darwin, I think it was, at least once. The Japanese did, bombers from, some bases somewhere. But you're right, there was no real plan to, all I needed military access. I might be able to get that. As for military access, I'm just not going to right now. We have our own. I don't want to give up defending Norway. As you can see, we do have concentration in Oslo and some up in Bergen in case we need to withdraw. But I could send those forces up and around, but don't want to give up that because I don't trust the Norwegian AI to do a good enough job to defending things. And I'm looking at more the Mediterranean strategy. The bombing of the island off of Darwin, yeah, something like that. Very well could have been. But there was some attacks there. But like I was saying yesterday, Japan never really embraced the concept of commerce raiding with their submarines. It was just something that was... It's not that they didn't think it would be useful. And I know they thought it would be useful. It just... They're fixated, a combination of... A fixation of... they were a Mahanian Navy. They very much... entirely embraced Alfred Thayer Mahan's, the American naval theorist, doctrine of naval warfare. So did the American Navy. So both the Japanese and the American navies were both Mahanian navies in the way they operated, the way they saw to conduct warfare, naval warfare. That was part of it. They were looking for the great big grand battle to defeat the enemy surface vessels. That is part of it. The other part is sort of the samurai, the bushi ethos, the warrior ethos. And I think, because that's where you get the word Bushido from. The bushi ethos is better than maybe saying the samurai ethos, more correct. But of wanting to engage the enemy warriors as being a more honorable, a more glorious endeavor than going after. You mean they're merchant guys, the guys that transport stuff around? Yeah, it'd be good to have them sunk, but it's really so much more honorable to go sink that destroyer or that battleship or that carrier or whatever. So it was a combination of looking down on someone who would just go after a merchant shipping element, as well as the Mahanian Navy combination that really keeps them from ever pursuing an active campaign of commerce raiding. There were some submarine commanders that did it, not necessarily like against orders, but because they were sort of sent out to patrol, but it was like, oh yeah, we're out, patrol as in, because that was part of the submarine. The idea is that the way the Japanese saw this is we've got all these islands out here that they wanted to have, and then they secured, Midway and Wake and a few more. Well, they didn't get Midway, but they got Wake and some of these other ones. they wanted to control these islands, and that the U.S. Navy is going to, whether taking off from San Diego or Honolulu or wherever, is going to take off and is going to sail across the Pacific towards Japan. They thought that this was literally going to happen. It was going to sail across here. And as they were coming there, where they were going to have, rows of submarines out here. And those submarines were going to report, spotted U.S. battleships, 5, whatever, and then, report that to the high command so they know where it is. And then they would try to sink or damage the battleships or whatever, with their submarines, attack them. So they were going to go through layers of screening forces, including possibly layers of destroyers as you got closer to the fleet, to sort of weaken the main fleet, damage the main fleet, slow it up, because if you have some important carriers or battleships that are still functional but a bit slower because they have some holes in them, below the waterline, but still functional, so they're all keeping going, slowing it up. And then the Japanese would, at some point along this approach path, and also hit them from air power from islands while this is going on, and use that as reconnaissance too. While all that's going on, whittle down the American fleet, and then at some point, at point X, wherever that happened to be, because obviously the Americans may swing north, may swing south, may come through the center, but wherever that happens, the Japanese would vector in and concentrate their force. And that was also the idea, is that they didn't want to hit it piecemeal. They wanted to hit it as they wanted to concentrate their force, and then have the great big naval battle and sink that American fleet. And that would mean for 2 to 4 years, America would have no real fleet. It may have some vessels, may even have a few battleships and a few other, random, and I do sort of mean that not in the modern sense, but random naval vessels around, but no longer have the fleet, the battle fleet, the carrier fleet. That would be gone. Now, they didn't understand how quickly we could rebuild fleets, and how rapid, or how many ships we could build. They didn't quite understand that. Yamamoto sort of did, and that's why he was like, no, don't ever do this. This is the stupidest thing you could possibly do, go after America. He knew that, but he did. He himself thought that there was going to be this, sort of battle, and he thought it was going to be, carriers on carriers going after the fleets, as opposed to battleships on battleships. But it doesn't matter whether it's carriers or battleships. It was still this sort of big clash of ships that was going to happen, that was going to decide the Pacific War. And once you sink the big American fleet, then you go into peace negotiations and you hash out who gets what, and you have peace. That's what they thought. And part of the reason they thought that is that's what's happened in their war with Russia. They eventually get Port Arthur, get the either capture or destroy the I think they did actually get a few somewhat usable Russian ships, but get that, and then the Russians did their heroic, though messed up. The guy, I don't know how to pronounce his name, who does really good naval stuff, has recently did an episode detailing the haphazard, really haphazard Russian movement of fleets from the Baltic over to the Pacific. And he's, I think, going to do something on the actual battle in a little more detail, but it was heroic, though it was haphazard. Russian fleet that comes around, and they sink it in the Straits of Tsushima, right about here. So they've already had a Mahanian battle and event and action, and then once that fleet, the main Russian fleet, is destroyed, then they go into peace conference. And yeah, that's the guy, Darchinil, or however you pronounce that, because I think you're close on it, but I think you're missing something in there. I don't know, but yep, you've got him. Absolutely. Thanks, JP. I highly recommend his channel. Go over and subscribe over there if you're into it. I don't like his earlier work that has all that robot voice stuff. I just don't deal well with the robot voice. It looks like they've lost. Oh, they just moved it from Chomping down to here, the capital. Okay. Not a bad thing to do. Maybe they lost it briefly. Don't know. But I like his more human voice stuff now. And so he did a really nice thing on that. And I'm very happy to give other good YouTubers shouts out on when they do, consistently produce stuff. So, but I knew about the thing before his thing, but it's ridiculous. The Russians think that there's a Japanese torpedo boat fleet out here at one moment, and then again in other places, and it's laughable what was happening. So it's worth listening to that. Good. I hope he actually replaces the old ones and not just makes new stuff. I hope he goes back and replaces them, because his voice is fine, and I presume it's him that's saying it, and he speaks it well. I don't do, when I've tried to read scripts, it sounds really bad after I listen back to it, where if I'm just chatting, having this conversation, whether live or just purely pre-recording it, I think sounds good. But if I do a script reading, I am bad. So if I have notes, that's fine, but it still needs to come out conversational and somewhat rambling for me to think that I'm doing reasonably well on it. But so that's what Japan really thought what was going to happen with the thing. And of course they were just trying to steal a march on them by trying to sink all of the big ships at Pearl Harbor Fleet, and then have the peace conference. Well, we saw how that worked out. Not so well. Okay, was that the Americans taking off? Yes, the Americans are taking off on their invasion, it looks like. Not quite 10 divisions there, it looks like 8 divisions. And we have some more. Okay, well, there we go. Hopefully our air power is helping out, killing a destroyer. Okay, so they are invading the shore. Okay, we're going to end the episode here. I think this is a good time to end it. I want to thank everyone for watching. Thanks for liking the videos if you haven't already. Please subscribe. See you next. Please comments, questions, suggestions. Love hearing from you. See you next time for more Hearts of Iron.